pew. Pew.
Pew pew pew.
Pew
That
pew
was
pew.
is pew 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 in like fast forward.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. That's a big old mug of tea you got there, honey bunny.
And it says got milk on it.
Yeah, I wonder where we got that from.
That's from Trip H.
Trip H. He's not in the house.
Not yet.
So who we got in here? Hidden Within Myself. Kinfolk Farm in Georgia. What's up? April Hill. Anita. Brad. What's going on, Brad?
Toby, what's up?
Kathy Beals. Geeky Gardens. Appalachian Mercantile.
Granny Frammy.
Mark
Krieger, what's up?
Loma Acres.
I hadn't seen him in a while.
Uh-oh. Popo's here.
Oh.
Everybody hide the weed. The Popo's here.
Finally made a live stream. Yes, we're happy to see you, Brad.
Shh. The cops are here.
Okay.
This is just tea. It's not illegal alcohol.
What would be illegal alcohol?
I don't know. I'm pretending like I'm part of the
Moonshine
prohibition.
or something,
Yep.
maybe?
Mama grows.
Dang it, I had my earbuds turned up too. I nearly dropped cast iron skillet on my feet. You should know better than that, April.
Let's see. Unpaved Explorer. How you doing?
Well, hello. Hey, he was here last week, I think.
Yep. Cecilia. Jensen. Blowing up the chat. Trying to say hi to everybody.
Yep. Good morning, evening, everybody. Sharon Brashear.
Incense Shop. Or, he's not Incense Shop. Well, Zen.
Zen
Zen
incense.
Right, leave your name alone, man. That's all I got to say.
Where? Because you said the cops are here. Where? That's like, so you were asking me earlier about if we had gotten, you were asking about a super chat from earlier. You didn't know because you were out doing the stuff on Thursday, but it was from Dragon's Talon, and his comment was hilarious because he was like, it was something along the lines of, look behind you, Robin, it's Blair Witch. And I was like, oh no, it's just Carol. Very funny.
Yeah, well, Blair Witch snuck up on us yesterday.
Yeah, we've got a wonderful story to tell y'all from the last 2 days.
Wonderful it is. Well, we got scars, battle wounds.
Y'all know me as, oh, okay. Awesome. Well, welcome. She's from Germany.
Oh, look, it's a guy who doesn't answer Marco Polos anymore.
Oh, he's been busy. He's working on a project for me.
Oh, okay. Did we get the fence fixed?
We'll tell you all about that in just a
with
minute.
Kim and Howard, how you doing?
Yeah, we'll let everybody get in here, maybe another 5 minutes or so, and then we're gonna tell you all about that.
I don't know. I think we should plead the fifth.
No. Brett and Cindy's Tennessee Living, what's up?
Robin had to go get her concealed pew-pew renewed.
That was Friday morning, but that's before. Battle wounds mean you survived. This is true. We are still here.
We're still here. Oh, see, he's got jokes now. He's got jokes. I was thinking of going live in 20 minutes. Go ahead.
Look, we went off like 2 minutes before you were supposed to go on. So
you should be thankful that we just sent everybody to your live stream.
Oh, please. He doesn't need us to send anybody to his.
I was like, go hang out with Brett so you don't get all crybaby-ish.
Actually, the funny part was it wasn't even you. It was Carol that was saying, go over to Broussard Homestead. Some days the homestead takes blood. Today was a day like that. Tammy Spears, hello. I wonder why all of his comments are being held for review. And so is hers.
That's the first time hers has.
Okay, so my admins, or my mods, Anna's not here at the moment. She is at a birthday party. And so she'll be here a little late. So if you guys could, Brett, if you could, and maybe April, If y'all can keep an eye on the comments, I would appreciate it. Did y'all manage to fix the fence yesterday? That's an hour-long live stream that we're getting ready to have. That's all I can tell you right now.
I will tell you this.
Don't tell them nothing. Don't. We're getting ready. I keep wondering that is all. I don't know why their stuff keeps coming up.
So,
okay.
When are you going to give me permission to talk? So it's like I need permission to talk now. Can you scratch my back? It's very itchy.
I can't imagine why. Mr. Sunburn.
It's not sunburn.
On top of sunburn.
It's not sunburn.
On top of sunburn.
It's no sunburn.
Okay. You got it, dude. It's the heat that's got me all messed up.
You got it, dude.
Alright, go ahead.
Go ahead, what?
You said you wanted permission to talk, so now you have permission to talk.
No, you just kept telling me. Oh, you're such a butt-faced criminal.
Okay, go ahead. So this week,
Monday and Tuesday were okay.
I started a new job.
Yep.
It's a pretty decent commute, but I'm really going to like it there. So it'll be worth it.
Monday and Tuesday were good to go. Wednesday started out okay. We got the video all together, finished getting it filmed, came in here to edit it, and could not pull it off of the card.
Yeah, couldn't get anything off the card. Yep.
And so it took us most of Wednesday night and most of Thursday to get it off of the card. Got it off of the card.
You went to your appointment.
Went to my appointment, yeah. On my stabby stab. And
Okay, Mom.
got back here and I was thinking, okay, I'll just release it Thursday evening. Got back here and was just about done editing and my phone rang. And I was like, what's he talking about?
No.
You snitched. You snitched.
Nope.
Yes, you did.
Anyway.
Jerk. Anyway, my phone rings, and it's my one neighbor's son.
Uh-huh.
And he was, like, all excited to talk to me. He was like, Jason, guess what? I'm like, what? I went and got some cows. You got cows? He's like, yeah. I got me a big...
beautiful
Texas Longhorn bull and what looks like to be an Angus bull. I said, I'm on my way.
They've gotten to the point now where they have fun with it. They don't just say, hey, by the way, your cows are over here. Like, he comes up with these crazy things now. So I'm about 30 minutes from home, and Jason texts me, and he says, cows are out in the back. Meet me over at Keith's. I was like, am I understanding this correctly, that the cows are out? He's like, yes. So we went to... you went over there immediately.
Yep. Went over there immediately, and they were sitting back there. It was Keith, Blake, and a friend of theirs.
It's whatever her name's baby daddy.
Oh.
Oh.
See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Anyway, sitting over there, and they was watching the cows.
Brinley's, or whatever her name is.
About that time, little Chunky Monkey comes on the radio talking about she found the hole, but she didn't find the hole. And so she come up boogity through the woods, and then we chased them back, and they darted into the woods.
Now, meantime, I get there, and I come out to the pasture. I'm in, like, dress clothes and sandals. But I run out there and go to help them. And they take off into the woods.
Into the woods. Now...
which is actually kind of good for the most part, because usually they'll tell on themselves and they'll tell you exactly where they got out.
And they did.
And they do. So...
and they went right back to how they got out. Well, everybody over here on the East Coast has been having storms.
Some really bad storms. Windy storms.
And lightning and thunder and sideways rain.
Yeah, rain that's like going completely horizontal.
And I checked we'd go out once a day and check, or once a week and go out and check fence lines.
Mm-hmm.
But I never went back to this one area because I was like, it's too thick back there.
They're not going back there.
They're not going back there.
Because we don't normally find them back there anyway. They're normally further down the bed of the creek.
Yeah.
So.
And they're not going back there. It's too thick. Now, Mr. Texas Longhorn and Mr. Angus Bull said, you know what? We like it thick.
Apparently.
And
I'm convinced, though, I don't think that they, knew that hole was there. I think they were wandering up creek to get water, and then they just, you know how cows creep, they just go. And I think they just started going, and they didn't realize.
They're mischievous milk steak making jerks. That's what they are. And I can't wait till it's time to get rid of Freckles, because I am going to take them big honking horns that he's got,
hang them up on the wall,
chop, and I'm going to make me 2 Viking beer mugs out of them. They're not going to be that long. I'm going to cut it down to where it's a decent sized cup.
Because one horn is probably almost 2 feet.
I love you so much. I do.
Why?
Them things are like 4 foot.
Nuh-uh.
Are
they really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to have to go look at them. Anyway, so that was Thursday. So
I'll put it to you this way. When him and Ferdinand are head to head, his horn is poking Ferdinand in the back, in the butt.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that was Thursday. We finally found out where they were. We needed some T-posts to fix everything, so we went to the closer of the two.
Your friendly neighborhood tractor
supply. Ran down there real quick.
Well, we drove. We didn't run.
Drove down there real quick. Got the T-posts. Got some more barbed wire. Came back to the house.
Back to the house.
And by that time, it was getting close to dark. That's when we went live with y'all. It was about 7:45, I think. And we were down there, and we were trying to put T-posts in to be able to string.
This is where we realized we have a beautiful homestead, but the location of said beautiful homestead really kind of sucks.
It's frustrating.
Very frustrating.
Well, the part that's hard is that, with the gardening, we were able to work around that. We have raised beds, so we don't have to worry about it, right? But with setting T-posts,
you gotta worry about it.
You have to worry about it.
The T-post would get about a foot and a half in, and then it would be
ding, and it will not move.
Ding! And so I get frustrated, and I jump up in the air with it, slam it down, and it hit that granite so hard that not only would it shoot me back up a little bit and the T-post wouldn't go down, but it would bounce off the granite and come all the way back up out of the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Pete's little homestead in the house.
Yeah.
And so we spent the longest time just trying to get one stinking T-post in.
We were out there past 10:30.
And finally, I said, you know what? I've had enough. I'm getting frustrated.
This guy.
And so when we went to Tractor Supply,
we got 10 posts.
I got 6
6-foot
6-foot posts and 4 8-foot posts, because I was thinking about putting the 8-footers in and around the pond so I could drive them in pretty good, so that way we still had the height.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't work out. And so I finally said, you know what? I'm done. And so
it's dark.
Very close to the bank, I was able to get 2 of the 6-footers in. They weren't super in, but they were in enough. And then from the bank, I took 8-footers and I jammed them in sideways and then poking out all different ways. Basically, I made it zombie proof. So that way, if the cows, they would have had to impale themselves in order to get through this said hole. And then Robin was like, well, what about this area over here? And I'm like, baby, I don't think he can get his big horns through that, because there was a lot of muscadine vines and briars and privet and a whole bunch of junk right in there. It was just a twisted, utter mess. And so we woke up in the morning.
Now, hold on. To be fair, your plan was to first thing in the morning put them on electric fencing. So this was just supposed to hold them overnight. Okay, so it was just supposed to be, they're going to get bored, go to sleep, lay down anyway. We'll be up at first light. Not going to be a problem.
Well, my parents showed up earlier than I was anticipating.
They were here at like 8:30.
Yeah.
They were here early.
We didn't even have the morning chores
Chores
done.
weren't even done yet. Because we had slept in, because that night before we had been up till like midnight. We were up late. Yeah.
And
so, I didn't have to go into work as early because I got my concealed carry permit renewed. So I didn't have to leave it dark 30. So then, go ahead. I'm going to punch you in the no-no square. Just saying.
Stop! Don't touch me there. That's my no-no square. Anyway.
You thought he couldn't. He showed you.
And so I got here, got to visiting with my parents, and time just went on by, and we'd go out and check on them, and they were messing with it. I was like, okay, that'll hold them one more night then. They're not going to do it now. Well, sure enough, and hour before dark, 2 hours before dark.
So I'm on my way home. They're giving me what time are you going to be here? What time are you going to be here? Because they went and picked up pizza for dinner. I get home, we sit down, and I even said, have you been out to check on the cows lately? Oh yeah, they're fine. Okay. So we sit down, we're eating pizza, and all of a sudden Jason's phone goes off.
We were done eating pizza.
We were done eating, to be fair. We were done eating, but then his phone goes off. He picks up his phone like this, and he puts it down, and he goes right over to his boots and starts putting his boots on. And I was like, what's going on? He's like, the cows are out again. I'm like, ah! It was like 6:30, 7 o'clock. It was about 7 o'clock.
And so then we couldn't find them because we got mixed reports about where they were.
Mm-hmm.
Finally got a decent report. I zipped in there, zipped down.
And there they were.
And there they were. They were going. They were headed back home. And so I pushed them with the truck. They went boogity boogity down in the woods and then boogity boogity over into our pasture. We came back down.
Same spot.
Came back down, but they didn't mess with my zombie proof with the T-post. They went exactly
right
where Robin said,
about
do you think we should do something over there? Of course, part because I said, nah, it's too thick. They must have been up at the top of the hill listening to me talk that smack. We're going to show you, thick, fat boy.
Yep.
And they boogity boogity through there. And so we got set of loppers, and
I had to go back and get more stuff from Tractor Supply.
Yes,
we lost
because if you're lurking, young sir, and haven't commented yet, I would really like to know where was the last place you used my barbed wire puller for the come along. You know, the little black thing with the hole on the end with the washer that you can feed the barbed wire up on and lock it down. Young Marine sir, if you're in the room.
Yeah, no, we couldn't find that. And then from the day before, we couldn't find I always call it a pork chop. Why do I call it that? Is that what it's called?
I don't know what it's called, but I call it the barbed wire pliers.
I don't know. Like, for some reason, I always want to call it a pork chop. I don't know where that's coming from. But whatever, it's the tool that's got like it's a vicious looking tool. Like, you can do some serious damage with that thing.
If the zombie apocalypse ever happens,
we're going to have them.
I'm going to have it because it's got the perfect little hook on the end that I could ooga booga a zombie.
Rip out. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
So, you took off to do that. Dessa and I were down there starting to clean up around the embankment, so we were just going to run the T-post down.
Yeah, so that area where Jason said it was thick, they were like, well, you know what? We'll just pull it out.
We're just pull it out, clean
and we'll
it out.
put the T-post there. We'll stretch it along. And we don't even need to worry about if we can't get it in the middle of the creek. I'll just make a long stretch. We good.
Yeah, because I got to looking about how wide the creek was, and it really wasn't that wide. I really did not need to put a post in the center there. And so I had Carol trying to get a little fire going down there by the creek because in that part of our homestead,
it's horrible.
We have, I think that's where all the mosquitoes go because they're hiding from the bats.
Yeah. Because the night before we had gotten lit up. Yeah.
And I mean, I still got some welts.
Yeah, so I
still got some battle scars back here from mosquitoes. But
yeah, when I got back, go ahead.
Thank you. And so we're cleaning it out. We're wrestling and we're fighting with it. And I walked up the creek a little bit and I said, okay, we really only got to go maybe 10, 15 feet. Because see, what happened was, we didn't cover why the fence was down.
Oh.
See, with all those big storms and stuff, we had a big, huge, rotted out pine tree. Just
and it didn't have barbed wire on it. It had that like hurricane.
Yeah. It had a couple of strands of barbed wire.
Yeah, but then it had the regular fencing.
But it had the little hurricane fencing, but the tree just went. And so I had to chop it up and move it out of the way, which took about like 4 swings. I mean, I don't even know why he's trying to make jokes because they would just suck his right through that big honking nose 5 feet from him. I mean, his nose is like a straw for a zombie. It'd be like a lover's milkshake.
Okay, anyway. So you got to look and decided you could just clear it out and make a straight shot and it would be good to go.
Make a straight shot.
Yeah.
But because we had all of this rain, Carol's over there struggling, getting the fire. You kept texting and asking, do we need this? Do we need this?
No, I just asked one time, do you need water? Or do you need anything else? And you said water.
Water.
And then so I stopped and got water. I came back. I changed out of, because I was still in my work clothes from the day. I changed out of my work clothes because I knew we were going to get muddy back there. And I grabbed, because it was starting to get dark, I grabbed the flashlights and I had gotten extra batteries, which by the way, I found where the batteries are. They were in the back of our car. So now we have that big thing of batteries. So anyway, so I grabbed TJ. There it is. So I grabbed the tactical flashlights that TJ sent us. TJ Miller was on the live stream where we found out that the pigs were out. And so we ended up...
I don't know, but they're really cool flashlights. Diamond Dallas Page must have had to play with it, a part in it, because because you can do a very wide beam, but then you can do it
comes in.
Or you can do a very narrow beam, and it's like that. It's like a diamond.
No, it's not. It's like the top of a castle. Like if you turn it upright, it looks like a castle.
Not mine.
For real, it does.
Okay,
I'll show you. I'll show you later.
Too. It looks like a diamond.
We need to get your glasses checked. Just saying. But anyway, so there were 4 of them. So each one of us had our own flashlight. We were good to go. So last night we're sitting there. We've all got our beams doing great. Carol is struggling with the fire. So I went ahead and started working on the fire. And Jason and the girls were over on the bank. Carol and Ladessa mostly were pulling away the brush.
I was pulling it.
And you were pulling it from the top.
I was pulling it from the top because a lot of like the wild muscadines and the thorny thorns things were over the creek and in the other trees. So they were pulling it this way, so I had to reach up and I was pulling stuff down.
Right. So Carol's...
I got a whole bunch of thickers in my hand. And so I came over to get a drink of water because I just had the sweat pouring.
Yeah, we were sweating like crazy. It was hot and sticky and buggy.
And plus, I got a Fitbit this week. And I don't know. It's like, I don't know if it's because it's like a video game or something to me. But I have really just been dominating putting out more burning more calories that I've been bringing in, which in return, in the water thing, oh Lord, I'm like pounding water now. So that now I'm like super hydrated. So now
Peeing a lot.
I'm sweating. Just.
Yeah.
And so I had come over there to get some more water and wipe my face down off with my Broussard Homestead t-shirt because that's
what you were wearing.
That's what it was good for. Wipe your sweaty, dirty face off. No, I didn't even want to even wearing that shirt. It's still I was gonna wear it tonight, and then it's like, you know what? He doesn't talk to me on Marco Polo anymore, so I'm not gonna wear his shirt.
He doesn't talk to you on Marco Polo?
Barely ever.
Wow. He must have a new Marco Polo.
He's got a new Marco Polo friend somewhere.
So anyway.
But anyway, you know what I didn't do tonight?
What did
I forgot to send an email out and put on Facebook that we were going live.
And we have the same numbers.
No, we're a little less.
Yeah, well.
We're a little less.
So anyway.
We're a little less.
What are you doing?
I'm fixing to do something.
No. Tell your story. I'll do it. Wanderlust is here. Hello, hello.
But, so, about the time I get over there and I start drinking water, Carol goes, "Wah!"
Yeah, she like squalled.
And I'm like, what you going on? Something bit me. I said, it was probably one of them big honking mosquitoes.
Yeah. And then she didn't, nothing else. It was just a one-time thing. It was no big deal. And she went back to doing what she was doing.
And then it was, I don't know what.
30 seconds, a minute.
30 seconds, a minute. I just got the cat back on the water, and Ladessa started squalling. Something is getting me.
And then she just keeps,
they're all over me, Daddy.
And then she comes running.
And then she starts, Carol already darted and ran past me and Mom. Dessa's coming, and about that time, Robin starts using different adjectives. And she's like, because Robin was sitting down doing the fire, she's like, "It just got me 4 times. It just got me 4 times."
I was like, "Mother!" And I'm like,
and I'm sitting right there, nothing's getting me.
I am hitting my shirt. I'm hitting my arms. It's all in my hair. I'm like,
nothing's getting me. And I got a flashlight in my hand and a bottle of water. Nothing's
and
getting me.
he is literally sitting right next to me. Like, we were touching.
Yeah, we were. And so, about that time, Ladessa's coming and she's squalling.
And she's coming right from me.
She's coming right at me. And I just take my bottle of water and I just dump it all over her in case, maybe there was a hornet's nest or maybe it was something.
Whatever. Mm-hmm.
Maybe they stepped on a yellow jacket's nest because she kept saying, "They're stinging me, they're stinging me." And Robin's like, "It just stung me 4 times. So in my head, I knew it was either a ball-faced hornet, yellow jacket, or a wasp. And I was like, okay, here we go. And so I grabbed Ladessa up out of the creek, tossed her up the bank, pushed Carol up the bank, and they were gone. I looked around, and I was alone, y'all. I got left. I could have, whatever it was that was stinging them, could have all said, "Look, there's a big fat target right there."
So that's the part you don't... go ahead, finish your sentence.
And went to me. It could have been murder hornets, and they would have all jumped on me. And nobody would have known because the whole hive could have jumped on me and it could have been because I got stung in the neck. Look right there. I got stung in the neck.
Well, the part that you don't realize is okay, so we get up to the top of the hill. They're all over my shirt. So I'm taking my shirt off. The girls are freaking out. And Jason is just all of a sudden just silent. And I was like, "Where's your father?" And they're like, "I don't know. He was coming up the bank." And I'm like, "Jason!" And he's not answering. "Jason!" And he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Okay, you're fine. Never mind." When you didn't answer the first time, I was going down the bank to go find you because I thought, "Oh, crap. They left us, and now they're going after him."
I was just stunned that, okay, if this was a zombie apocalypse world, my family, the people that are supposed to love me, my wife, who I have given 15 years of love and support to, my children that I helped make, they owe me their breath of life.
I love you, Suburban.
Just turning left.
At least they listen when you say run. Yeah. Suburban said, "That won't happen. Bees prefer sweet stuff. That's why it worked like that."
Yeah, she's funny. And so I come up top of the hill. I'm still trying to
No, it was not bees. I will tell you that. It was not bees because the same one that stung me here came and stung me over here and then came and stung me here. I had probably 10 to 15 stings by the time it was all said and done. Because I got tagged like 3 or 4 times in each arm, like 3 or 4 times in my belly, a couple of times on my back. So, I mean, I got it the worst. It was bad.
And so we left everything down there. I get up to the top of the hill. I make sure everybody's still breathing. We don't have to jump in the truck and haul butt somewhere. Right, and so everybody's fine. Just everybody's upset.
Well, Odessa still had one on her shirt. So
yeah, which I still didn't get to see because
she freaked out.
Odessa, you got one on your shirt, and then all the women was like, and I'm like, would really like to know what we're dealing with here.
I don't think it was a yellow jacket.
And so, great. And so, I was like, you know what? I gotta go get the water. I gotta go get the barbed wire tools. I gotta go get the loppers and all of this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, I'm cruising down there, and I'm like, I'm still thinking, okay, they just do not want to be out here tonight. So they had a coup. They got together and they said,
"Are you kidding me?
We're gonna act the fool and leave Daddy down there by himself. You just left me alone with things that were supposedly lighting you all up. So it's not a far stretch to think that you guys were just gonna."
I'm sorry. We assumed that your big fat butt would be running right behind us, and you just stood there like a dum dum, like, "Come, everybody, come get me!
One done get me!" And so I walk down there and I start walking. I gather up stuff.
Didn't believe at this point. He doesn't believe that he just thinks we've all lost our dang minds.
And I started tossing the stuff up on the bank so Carol could get it. Boom, 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 boom. Right? And I see the loppers over there. And so I go get the loppers. And about that time, pow, pow, in the neck. I fall down onto the bank. I mean, it nailed me down. And I went, oh, crap, we're dealing with ball-faced hornets or yellow jackets because a wasp won't knock me down. But those two SOBs have knocked me down in the past, and so I know it would. And so I get and I swat at it, and about that time, I hit here, and then I have another one hitting here.
Right there, yep.
Bam! And then I start getting hit in the back, and I was like, you know what? Y'all can have it. We're done.
We'll leave the loppers down there. If you want to fly off with it, go right ahead.
And so I walked back up to the top of the hill. I heard Carol giggling, going, "Daddy getting it now." And so we get everything set up, and we go out. We push the cows up to the front.
No. You cannot. No, you can't fast forward through that. So then, here we are sitting here. Now we're like at a point of no return. Because we've now ripped a section of fence that is like 20 feet, 30 feet long. Mm-hmm. And so there's no way we can leave them there. So then the question becomes, okay, where are we going to put them? So we thought, well, maybe we can put them in the front pasture. Mm-hmm. But we had forgotten that not only had we ripped out a part of the fencing on one side, but on the other side there was a hole.
Yeah, there was a hole. And that's what Ladessa reminded me of.
Yeah. So Carol and I are trying to find. So what we did is we decided.
You can't fast forward past this part.
No. So we were sitting. No. So yeah. So then you're like, okay, let's go up and see if we can find the cows. So we're driving around the pasture with the truck. He's driving in the tractor. He's looking. The riding lawnmower.
Don't make it act like we got a tractor, like I'm cool or something, and got a nice John Deere
So
tractor.
we're all riding around.
I'm putzing around like Timber Toolman Taylor.
And we're all spotlighting with our tactical flashlights, which reach really far. And Carol and I finally decided there's no way we're finding these guys in the truck. We have to get on foot and go look in the spots where we know they usually bed down.
The truck's a Popeye. Did you know that?
Yes, I saw that. Yeah. So then Carol and I parked the truck, and we took off to where we thought they would be. Jason and Ladessa were going to sit there and try and figure out how we were going to fix this fence so that we can get it done. then I guess she reminded you.
Well, then I was like, all right, Ladessa, let's get the barbed wire. We don't have like 8 feet to run. We'll run 3 strands real quick, and it'll be done. We don't even have to really pull it tight. We can just
connect it and
be done with it. And then she's like, okay, Daddy, but then what are we going to do about that hole down there? I'm like, what hole? And she's like, yeah, there's a hole down there. I'm like, well, we ain't messing with that then tonight. So then I got on my trusty
cell phone.
Cellular
my phone
telephone.
Starts ringing.
And I'm like, we got to push. We're going up. We're going to build the electric fence paddock up around the red barn. When we're ready, push them all the way up there.
And we had just found the cows. Like, we had just walked up on them and found them. So they were literally in the farthest corner of our pasture. Down in the creek. Like, right there at the back pasture. So,
I think they were down there laughing because they knew that the wasp nest or whatever it was down there, hornet's nest. And
so they were all bedded down. We got them up and started moving them because we figured it was going to take a while to drive them because there's 6 of them. And while cows are herd animals and they will tend to stay somewhat close, we have 3 steers that are all
retarded.
Not nice.
Well,
they have their own idea of where they want to go.
But also, and truth be told, from working at the dairy, that we know that cows have this strange thing. They're like, oh, you want all of us to go up there? And then they'll start mooing, and what they're probably saying is like,
you go to the right, I'll go to the left.
B, we're gonna run play B, 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 B.
Uh-huh.
And what B means is like 2 or 3 are gonna go up this way, one's gonna go this way, one's gonna come right back at you.
And we're doing this in the dark. It is now like 10:30 at night, or 10 o'clock at night. So Carol and I are pushing them. Well, of course, instead of like where they were just walking straight up and going, they decided to go all the way to the back fence line, walk the whole back fence line, then walk all the way to the fence line. Then they finally turned to get back onto the walk path. And so then we pushed them up past the barn. Well, I jumped in because the truck was right there. So I jumped in the truck.
Now, did you jump in the truck like normal people, or did you Daisy Duke?
Oh, no. I jumped in the truck like normal people. So I got in the truck, and I thought I had communicated to Carol to keep an eye on the cows while I moved the truck into the next pasture. Well, she didn't hear that. So all of a sudden, then the cows were gone again. And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. She's like, no, I don't know where they are. I said, well, go find them, because I'm betting they went down that fence line, down in towards the beaver swamp. Okay. So she takes off with her trusty tactical flashlight. I take the truck and go all the way to the front of by the gate to see if they've just boogity towards the front. Because sometimes they'll do that thinking that they know we're trying to push them that way, so they'll head up that way. So I went ahead and went up to the front. They're not there. So I swung back around a little bit, and I see Carol's flashlight bouncing. So I know she's boogieing, right? So I turned the truck off, and I'm like, Carol, have you got them? Yes, ma'am, I got them. They're coming up. So she comes up around the back side of that fence line right up to the gate. So then we've got the cows. And so I'm like, okay, Jason, like, it's taken us a good while to get this done. Where all are y'all at? Like, how much longer have you got? And he texts me, about an hour. I'm like, we could have run the barbed wire by now for that. And he's like, no, Ladessa reminded me there's another hole. And I'm like, oh, that's right. So Carol and I just sat there and basically had to kind of occasionally move because they'd get a little uppity and want to move around some. And so we'd have to move with them. And so we just kind of sat there. Meanwhile, you and Ladessa.
Yeah, because we were just about done when you text, because you were like constantly blowing up my phone. I was getting frustrated with you.
I was trying not to because I knew you were trying to.
And well, you were. It just happened to be that you were at the part all the fence posts were in, but we had these big balls of wire that we were trying to just clip on the fence, and then trying to get them tight and all of that. So
So
we finally got it done. And I said, okay, bring them.
And you were brilliant. Like, he set up the fence so that as soon as they come up the hill, they're walking straight into the paddock. Like, we don't have to push them anywhere. They're going to go straight up in. Not a problem.
And the cool thing about it, I mean, it was a pinch point. Mm-hmm. Because I had the pig pens on this, the old pig pens on this side. Mm-hmm. So if they would have ducked into Han's old pen, I was locking them down. Then we were gonna take a cattle panel,
put it over
top of it, and zip tie it in for the night.
Hell, I'd have brought the truck up on it and just like put it up against the truck, so like it would just like so the panel would have just barely hit the truck.
Yeah.
We would not. Yeah, that would have been So anyway.
And
now let me tell you the funny part of this, because when you had talked to me originally, his original plan was we have 6. One is about to have a calf, at least we think.
Knock on wood.
And then you got the 3 steers and the 2 bulls, right? So originally what Jason told me is he was going to put...
I wanted to put Freckles in with the girls so he could brown calf.
Right. And then we're going to put all the steers with the other bull in one, and then we were going to put Delma into...
First move.
Where we had calf pal.
First move.
So... that was my thought process. So I'm going through this trying to figure out, okay, it's like almost 11 o'clock at night. How are we going to do this? Well, my genius of a husband decided that wasn't going to happen at 11 o'clock at night. So when he calls me, he says, hey, I'm ready for you. Let's go ahead and push them. And I was like, all of them? He's like, yeah, we're just going to put them all in one paddock tonight. We'll deal with the rest of it tomorrow. I'm like, okay, cool. So... we open up the gate, and I very gently pushed them all outside the gate. They went up close to the pig. So they were up in there grazing. Closed the gate up real good. Then Carol and I just gently pushed them, and they just started moseying down the dam. And we got up the hill, and before I knew it, they were in. Like, they were in. Jason was closing it. They were turning on the fence.
Well, I mean, it was a pinch point because I had the pig pens on this side, okay, which was solid pallet walls except for where Han broke in. Then on this side, I had electric fencing, pig netting, and then I had the Gallagher chicken fencing. And if they touched that one, it was going to light them up.
Yeah, because we had a good charger on that one.
And so, there was this little tiny pocket right there.
So you just stood right there.
So I just stood right there. And as soon as they passed that sweet gum tree, I went, boop, boop, and boom.
They went right in.
They looked at me and they were like, oh, there's Daddy.
Yep.
And so they took off in there. We had the tractor on the other side of the fence, the paddock that we built for them, and I had the headlights on that, so they hooked. And my plan was for them to hook up, and they had lots of room on the back side of the red barn, which there was decent grass there. I figured that would slow them down, give me enough time, clip, turn on the fence.
Right.
Well, we clipped and went to clip again, but they just straight boogied and went through the back end back there.
Yeah, and all of a sudden you can feel the fence post move and the wires move, and we're like,
so Dessa took off, went around my shop.
She doesn't play. Like, when it's time to chase cows, that girl can run. Like, she does not take her time.
It's absolutely hilarious to watch LaDessa, who's like, 4'9", maybe 5 foot if she's lucky. Tiny little thing. Big, honking, Texas Longhorn bull comes boogity-boogity at her, and she just stands her ground. Ah! She says, and that cow says, woo, 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 woo.
It turns around and takes off.
Pump the brakes.
Yep.
And so she stopped them over there. I darted up into where they got out. I pulled that fence post out, dropped it down, kind of hid over there in the corner. Dessa pushed them back in.
And I was over at the fence.
And I
the charger.
Grabbed it, put it back in. We put the charger on, and then we placed ourselves pretty much because I had solid fencing here. I had shop and tool shed here. Had, electric fencing, but then I had the chicken fencing, so they really weren't going to test that much. Jess over here in this corner, Mom over here, and I was back to where they just came out.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we got because we were wondering, because Dessa thought for sure she had it turned on before they went through that. And
so we were thinking that there wasn't enough charge
on the charger. Well, they got their little tester, and Dessa's like, Daddy, I really don't think it's a good enough charge. And I said, well, you know what? Go get that S100 off of the chicken wire,
because
and
we
bring it
lock
over
the
here.
chickens up at night anyway, so that's just like a deterrent.
And bring it over here, and we hooked it up, and we put the tester on it, and it could come out a big bright purple light, which means they was getting
the most
good juice.
It could get, yeah.
And about that time, I think it was Socks or Angus. One of them touched it, and he couldn't get away from it fast enough.
Yeah, he had leaned into it. He didn't realize it was there and leaned into it, and it zapped him a couple of times, and so then he like ricocheted off of it.
And everybody else was like, "Woo!"
So we saw that was good, and we're like, okay, we're gonna go inside. So we went inside, and then but 20 minutes later, we sent Ladessa out. Ladessa comes back in just giggling. And I said, what are you laughing at? What's so funny? She said, I just watched the funniest thing I have ever seen. And I was like, what'd you see? She said, I watched all 5 of those cows pressure Potter into testing the fence. Like, they literally were there, like, kind of nudging him, like, go ahead, go do it. She said, and Potter hit the fence and backed up, and they all took off the other way. And they left it alone all night after that.
Yeah.
We had no problem.
We left the magnificent Gizmo out on the line, and we made Apollo sleep with Carol, so that way if Gizmo started barking, Apollo would start barking, which then in return would be a chain, would get everybody up, and we'd go out to see it, make sure they didn't get out. I really wasn't too worried about them really getting anywhere once they were up here. I mean, there was like 1 or 2 spots through the thick of the woods.
But they'd have to really be wandering to find that. It's way back there.
Because there are other chunks of fence up in different places around there.
Right.
And so I really wasn't stressing it too much. But I wanted better safe than sorry.
Right.
And sure enough, boy, got up in the morning. Everybody was good to go.
Well, now again, it was midnight, 1 o'clock before we got to bed again. So this morning, nobody was waking up at 6. Like, it was just not. We normally are up at 6 o'clock.
We're normally up 5:30.
It was not happening this morning. So it was like 6:37 when we got to moving, and Carol was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go out and do my chores." And Ladessa was supposed to be right behind her. Carol goes out the door, comes right back in the door. Cow out! So.
Good old Angus decided to get out again.
Yeah. So Angus was out. So then we pushed him, and sure enough, right about the time that was done, we had to. Was he tethered? Yes. We have to have him tethered right now. He is not.
I got about 100 yards to clear, so that way I can run new fencing.
Good fencing.
And then I got to figure out another 100 yards or so exactly where because our property is weird. It's kind of like a rectangle, but in one spot of the rectangle, it kind of kinks in. It kind of does this diagonal thing, and for the pond his pond is, and then comes out and then kicks back out again. Yeah. So, but we got him and my neighbor. We've got to sit down and agree exactly where the diagonal is, so that way we're both happy. I don't want to go out and spend, $500-$600 clearing what I need to clear, and then put the fence up.
Because we did
for him to come in and start going, you're 6 inches over my line. Which, I mean, I don't think
he would ever do that. Even like this guy on this other side did. Because we did start to put it up. We secured the fence line on the other side, and then he showed us this other side that we needed to. And we can't leave him off a line right now. He takes off. So
he's tethered. He does a really good job.
But he's still an alarm for us. Like, he's still, and like even the pigs, because he's close to where the pigs are. And so if the pigs get too close...
He was strategically placed right there because that Premier 1 hog net fencing has failed us tremendously.
Miserably,
as it's gotten...
The older it gets, the more
and it's not much as the fencing as it is the charger.
No problem, Anna.
And so he is placed there. He's a good dog, and once we get everything fenced in, he's going to be a great dog.
Good night, dear.
And except for with the ducks. He
loves to chase the ducks.
No, the ducks make him... He gets like fighting mad with the ducks. I'm a little worried about him when we get to turn him loose about the ducks. And I don't know if it's because when it was mating season and stuff, all the ducks were fighting all the time, and he was just not comfortable with that. But his hair ruffles up and...
Right, and he chases after them. I've watched him, like, the one time that we were, chasing him... The only reason why we caught him is because he was going after the ducks.
Yeah. And so we're going to have to watch him around the ducks.
Yeah.
But other than that, he's a really good dog. So we get out there this morning, right? Mm-hmm. And if you guys remember, it was like a week ago, 2 weeks ago now, Ladessa got lit up by yellow jackets. Mm-hmm.
With the hay bales.
At the hay bale. And so I got me a couple of cans of wasp spray and started digging around in that area and spraying, digging around, spraying. Nothing for 3 or 4 days after that. I was like, okay, we got them. So I sent her over there to start getting more hay. Because what we'll do is, where I sprayed at, they know that if they dig from that area, that spot, they have to put it off to the side. And so she's over there digging, and she got some hay, and she brought it all the way back up to where I'm at, because I'm on the inside of the fence. And sure enough, pow! She gets hammered again. She gets caught in the arm again.
Yeah, and because, we had minor PTSD from last night. Like, it's not even been 12 hours since the last time we got attacked. Yeah. This poor child is, like, right back in it from last night. Like, she's like, she was just horrible.
Now, I will tell you one thing. We do have to watch her like a hawk now. Mm-hmm. Because hornets and wasps. So, you really, believe it or not, you have bees and wasps, okay? That's how it kind of breaks down. You have your honeybees, your bumblebees, they collect the nectar, your digger bees, right? But your wasp family consists of your European paper wasps, your common wasp, your ball-faced hornet, your yellow jacket. And your yellow jacket is the most aggressive one in the wasp family. But here's the thing, okay? And let's go ahead and get rid of some myths because kind of went toe-to-toe with somebody over this. You can get stung by a honeybee 100 times, okay, in your lifetime. If you don't have an allergic reaction to the honeybee after the very first time you get stung, you will not. The chances of you ever developing an allergic reaction are slim to none.
Very slim, yeah.
Okay, because there are some that use honeybees, because honeybee venom can be used to treat arthritis and a lot of other different things. So you will not develop a allergy
over time exposure. Yeah.
Honeybee venom over time. That means it won't get worse every time you get stung. That is an urban myth. It's a flat out lie. It is not true. Let's just leave it at that. Now,
because if that was
because if that was true, wouldn't be that many beekeepers in the world.
Yeah.
A wasp, member of the wasp family, your European paper wasp, your common wasp, your ball-faced hornet, your yellow jacket. The more you get stung, the worse reaction that you will have every time. For example, we got lit up last night. Okay, everybody got these little bumps on them here.
I have big welts on my arms.
But the more that they got stung, the bigger their welts are got. Ladessa got nailed this morning in her arm.
Her whole forearm is swollen.
And her whole...
her whole...
She's swollen from about below the elbow,
all
almost
the way
to
her
the shoulder.
Yeah.
So we've got to really watch Dessa if she gets like when I go down there to kill those wasps, because we kind of figured out that it was just a common wasp down there.
Mm-hmm.
That she's not going to be anywhere around. Not going to let her be anywhere around.
Because she got tagged a few weeks ago, then she got tagged last night, and she got tagged. So it's a lot of exposure in a very short amount of time. And yes, I saw somebody said something about Benadryl. Yes, we have done Benadryl. Now, Jason and Carol cannot have Benadryl. It has the opposite reaction. Like, most people will get sleepy from Benadryl. Carol and Jason get hyper on Benadryl. So they did not take Benadryl. LaDessa and I did.
Yeah. And so Robin went out today and she purchased a couple more cans of the wasp and hornet spray. And so now, the rest of this year and probably next year, I'm going to really make sure that if I see one around the house anywhere, I'm going to go ahead and kill it, because as much as her arms swelled up this time, not taking a chance for it to go to the next level.
No, and we're not like super close to a hospital.
Yeah.
So if she has a reaction, we're going to have to hightail it to get somewhere.
And so, if y'all remember, we're doing our best to try to do the big plans for 2020. So if we got something you need, we may barter for wasp and hornet spray. And it's just one of those things that we just up the game with it there. Okay, this happened. It's not a life or death kind of thing, but we just got to keep an eye on it.
J Love, yes. So plantain, we were talking about that this morning when she got nailed this morning. Well, I'll back up. Last night, the last time that LaDessa got stung, I was at work, and so they texted me and asked me what she could use for her stings, and so she knew that she could use lavender and chamomile. So, she went straight for that last night. What she did find, so then this last time she got stung, she found out that the Peace roller ball, because it was all she could find, she just went ahead and put it on there, and it actually worked. It did really well. And I had gotten stung when we had gone to go get feed, and I had used it, and I was like, oh, that was like almost immediately my sting was almost gone. So I told her about that. So she grabbed the Peace oil last night and was rubbing it on her, and she said that it helped out tremendously. Then this morning, we were sitting at the table after it had happened, and LaDessa had tried the Peace, and it didn't work. And so she went ahead and got the lavender and the chamomile, and we're sitting having breakfast, and she's eating, and her eyes are getting low, and then her head's like getting low. I'm like, baby girl, you need to go take a nap.
Yeah.
You done high dosed yourself. So she went ahead and did that. But before she did that, we were sitting at the table, and I have some calendula oil and some plantain oil cooking in the windowsill. And so we got some Q-tips, and I put one of each of those on there, and it kind of leveled it out some, so that helped a lot. A nurse told me to cut an onion in slices and put it on the sting area. The capillary action will draw out the poison. Might want to call the doctor and see if he'll call in an EpiPen. Balance has helped us with fire ant bites. Haven't tried for bee stings. I'll tell you, we did, and basically how I found out that Peace worked is because, like I said, we were riding down in the truck, and the windows were down, so I guess, one came in the window, and I had put my arm on the armrest, and it was sitting there, and I didn't realize it was, and so I hit it there, and it stung me, and I jumped up, and immediately it started to swell, and it was like right in here somewhere. And the only oil that I had was that Peace rollerball, and so I was like, well, something is better than nothing. So I put it on there, and it was surprising that it worked as well as it did. So that was it was nice to find something else that would work. So anyway, so that was our last couple of days. That's not to say that in the morning we might have more interesting So what's the plan for these cows now that we've got them all up here?
Well, the plan goes back to the original plan. I want to get Delma in first moo.
Which will be easy because it's right there.
Yeah. And then I want to get Freckles in with the girls.
How's that going to work with the calves?
That I don't know. That's the part I'm still trying to work out in my head. I'm thinking about just leaving the calves in there. Because I don't think, with him being the daddy, I don't think he would mess with them. You know, because they're no real threat to him.
Right.
I think he would be okay with them. If they come and try to aggravate him, he may push them out of the way. But I don't think he's going to run them because he's going to be too interested
in the
McLovin that he could be doing in there. And so then what we're going to do is I'm going to come back to the pasture after a couple of days. I think I'm going to move the boys, the steers, from where they are right now to behind the shop. Let them tear that up. And in the meantime, I've got to move the girls off of the paddock that they were on. They probably should have got moved today, but it got helter-skelter. And start to bounce them back this way. And so I want to probably take the boys all the way to the back. Once they're on good electric fencing and they understand it now for a couple of days. And then put them on and paddocks that we can move them every day or every other day, and just keep bouncing them around to help stomp all of that stuff down back there, thin it out, eat what they can eat, and I may want to come behind them and top dress with some pasture seed. I don't know yet.
Well, I meant to tell you, when I stopped today, the only thing that they have right now is like a rye fescue, and that's not going to grow.
No, it's not going to grow
right now. So the only thing I could think of is doing what we were going to overseed with, that deer mix.
Yeah.
And try and put that in a little bit.
Well,
not right away.
August, September, we can put out the winter mix.
He said that those bags will be in late August.
Yeah. So we'll just get them then and heavy overseed it then, and just continue to bounce them, and then follow them with the meat birds, and hopefully by then everything will have calmed down. We can build the bigger egg mobile. And hopefully by then we've gone tractor shopping. We were supposed to do that today. We decided that we're in the process of looking for a tractor. Obviously, preferably a good used tractor because the cost will be a lot less than a brand new one. The one we want that would be ideal for us, and we're using the John Deere one as the example, was like $35,000 or $36,000, and it had the bucket on the front, the drive over decking that clips on that you can bush hog, and then the backhoe attachment on the back.
Loma Acres, how old are the calves? What's her name's calf? Calf Pal's calf was born on Valentine's Day, and Daisy's was born on 4/20. So we can remember both of those fairly easily. About 2 months apart. So Bo is pretty much weaned. Like, he's not, I haven't seen him nurse at all. And Duke is pretty much, I mean, he's still occasionally, not completely weaned, but they're still in there with their mothers. So and then how many acres do you have? 21. We have 21 acres. So
but the reason why those 3 attachments are kind of like must-haves right now is because, well, one, I need the mower deck because I'm doing a lot of my mowing now in the areas that we can't put cows and stuff in with a battery-operated Ryobi push mower. It's a boss. I love the little thing. It does great.
And it's so light.
In our Grow Food Not Lawns Tetris maze that Robin made with the raised beds, and it's perfect enough that you can go in there and you don't have to really. You still have to weed whack around the beds and everything, but for the majority of it, you can still get it with that little thing. And so, the deck on our John Deere riding lawnmower, we're not going to mention any names, but Blaze would used to just run over privet and everything and hit stumps and rocks, and so
the deck is
the
like
rod is not a rod, but anyway, the thing that the blade goes on, that pulley, that rod that is holding on to the pulley, has just been bent, wallered out, and the whole new deck basically we would need, because the tensioner was bent. Pretty much every stinking pulley and hole was just messed up.
Oh no, yeah, no, I agree, Loma. They're not that old. 15 months would certainly be way too old. But these guys are only not even 6 months old.
Yeah.
So.
And so the new decking was anywhere, I think I found a used one for like $150, but they can go on up to $500-$600. But I really need.
And then we also looked at other, just like what we had, but we were thinking about replacing that. But then we were like, we're just gonna get the same problem again. It's the same complaints.
Yeah, because a lot of the the
spindle. Yeah.
Yeah, spindle. That's it. I started looking at other riding lawnmowers, and I started reading reviews.
We're firm believers in.
And look, I look at the reviews and I go to the ones that have the most, and I go straight to the 1-star ones. I want to find. I don't want to hear the
what's so great
about it, because shoot, to be honest with you, there's probably people out there that get paid to
put that on there.
And so I go to the ones, and then from the ones, if there's not a small amount of ones, I'll go to the 2s, 3s, 4s. And
complaints are all the same.
Yeah. And when it starts, when you have, it's got 4.5 stars, but then you look and you got but there's like 368 reviews, and you got 40 ones, and you start reading them, and it's all the same thing. It got here, it showed up here, it looked like crap, it had rust on it, but then it wouldn't start, or it started and ran for 8 hours, and then I couldn't get it started again, and I've been without it for a month now, blah, blah, blah. And I told Robin, I said, you don't need to let me shop for these, because I looked at John Deere, I looked at Husqvarna, I looked at Troy Built, and each one of them in the 1s and 2s, they all kept saying
the same kind of stuff.
And I'm like, I'm not dropping $2,000 or $1,500 on a lawnmower that I could possibly have the same issue. And I looked at Robin and I said, baby, are we at that spot? We always call it the spot.
Well, no, because then you were going to do we were
going to rent. I'm sorry, you're right. We were going to rent. Well, this is something totally. And at the same time that we were looking for the lawnmower, we were also getting ready to rent a skid steer, so that way we can. The area where we're going to put the greenhouse, there's a stump there, so I got to kind of push that. We've been burning.
Good night, Wanderlust.
And so we got to kind of. I don't want to say dig it out, but we got to get the remaining part of it out, level that area off, take the excess dirt, and I want to bring it back here to where I'm going to build a wood shed, and that way it would be nice and leveled off. And so I was going to do that, and then I got a list of 10 other things that I could do with a skid steer if we rented it for a week. Mm-hmm. Okay, and the rent on the skid steer for a week was like $815, $820. But this is where they get you, folks. It was an $815 rental for the week of the skid steer, but then they backed it up with, some of them was $150 both ways. The one that we were going to get it at $817 for, it was $300 both ways delivery. So it was almost it was over a day's rental to get the skid steer just dropped off and picked up. And I started looking around at how much a tractor would cost, and I started looking, I'm like, Robin, I said, I think we're at the spot. And we called it the spot because when we were doing a nuisance wildlife business, we came to a spot that we had to take a leap of faith and decide whether or not we were going to go full-time doing the business, or if we were going to just sit back here and tread. You know, we had to do it. We had a spot where, do we take the leap of faith and do we keep renting this ladder, or do we go and buy our own? You know, and so we're at the spot with, do we take the leap of faith and get the tractor? Because that skid steer price, because I called like 3 or 4 different places. Basically, I called all the places that were around here. And the average is about $125 to $150 deliver and then pickup fee.
Right.
So you're looking at almost a whole
$250 to $300 just
whole
for the
day's
transportation.
Just to get it here and dropped off.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at Robin and I said, you know, looking at that John Deere site, because you can plug it in, and John Deere is nice enough that on their website you could break it down how many months that you want to finance it, and without, because they're doing a thing with 60 months zero interest right now, and so they don't put any interest in, and how much your payments were going to be. And I'm like, Robin, you do realize that that's almost half a year payment on the tractor that we need.
Yeah, what we were going to pay for just the skid steer rental would be like almost 6 months worth of payments. Yeah. So we were like,
And that's a brand stinking new one.
And that's a new one, yeah.
Yeah. And so,
which might be worth doing because of warranties and all that other stuff in case something goes wrong.
Yeah.
And a lot of places now are running all kinds of incentives because they want to sell stuff. So it's a good market right now to try and buy things because everybody wants to sell stuff.
Yeah.
Get back in the saddle.
And now that Robin is my sugar mama with her job that she got, I can afford to go get a tractor. And so we're going to be looking. So be on the lookouts for a video coming out with us doing one.
Get off.
Why?
All the cows are out.
All the cows are out?
All the cows are out, and I don't feel good.
Okay. Breathe.
Where are they at?
They're up there by the cows.
Oh, okay. They up there just having fun?
Yes.
Okay. It'll be all right.
Me and Carol were trying to get them separated so we don't.
No, we're just gonna all put them all together.
We're just gonna put them all together.
Just put them all.
Up in Daisy and them.
Yeah.
How are we gonna feed them?
You mean how we gonna feed them?
Do you just want us to put some feed in there?
No, we're just gonna. That smart fence will stretch it out as far as it'll go.
We'll move it, do something with it.
Stuff like that. So
right. Relax. Just go keep eyes on them so that they don't.
I need to go to the bathroom.
Okay. Fall off of the steps now.
It's not funny.
Did you get a new job, Robin? Yes, I did. So, anyway, so that's.
Oh, that's fun.
That's it for tonight. Stay tuned. We'll probably be back tomorrow. Be paying attention for a pop-up live tomorrow because it's bound to happen.
Yeah, it's more than likely going to happen because it's going to be fun tomorrow getting a lot of these cows separated.
Moved. Yeah.
Moved and separated. Moved. So.
I'm your sugar bear.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I gotta put some socks and boots on.
Me too. So, from us here at the Big Bear Homestead, Robin and I want us to remind you guys to plant smiles.
Grow giggles.
And harvest the love, baby, yeah. Recycle, reuse, repurpose, and
give our wildlife a chance.
Give the wildlife a chance. Y'all be kind to one another, because I'm probably not gonna be. I'm not gonna be kind to some cows here in a minute, but y'all be kind to one another. This was bound to happen though, because they've been moving back and forth all day.
Yeah, so they're not far from each other, so they have figured out that they're close. So
yeah. So, and
that's one thing about electric fencing. It is not a physical barrier.
Nope.
It is a psychological.
It's a psychological barrier. Yeah.
So,
So y'all have a wonderful night. God bless, and we'll see y'all next time. Night, everybody.
Good night, y'all.